Well, I'd like to welcome the fantastic Ben Lockwood from the innovative BrewDog to this session of Hospitality Talks. Ben, thank you so much for joining me. Now, I doubt that there's anybody that doesn't know who BrewDog are, and you yourself are reasonably active on socials, but you could just, for anyone that's watching that doesn't, could you just give a quick introduction?
Yeah, no problem, Katie. Love to speak to you as always. I'm Ben Lockwood, on-trade marketing manager for BrewDog for the last 18 months. Previously over a decade at M&B. Most recent job there before moving to BrewDog was beer and cider buyer. So lots of fun innovating in the on-trade. And if you don't know BrewDog, where have you been? But breweries in Ohio, Ellen, Aberdeen, Brisbane, Australia, Berlin in Germany, distilling company, 104 bars across the world globally, and on a mission to be the most sustainable drinks company in the world in the next 2 years. So there we go.
Excellent. Well, that's quite some aim. So that's the future, but let's look at what's happened over the last, 16 weeks in lockdown now. So tell me, what have BrewDog been up to?
Well, essentially, as soon as the announcement came that the on-trade was going into lockdown, you know, all the bars closed globally. Some of the international ones closed earlier than the UK ones, but once they were all into lockdown, that's 70% of your revenue gone overnight. So the two missions from James and David were protect the business and save as many jobs as possible. So while they were busy doing that, we also wanted, and this is something BrewDog have always done, is how can business be a force for good? So I'm sure some people have seen the hand sanitizer was a big project for us. So up to date, I think it's just over 500,000 bottles of hand sanitizer have been donated. The value of that is in the region of 1.2 million in terms of value. NHS, local charities, etc. Then in Ellen and locally around Aberdeen, we were using delivery trucks to deliver meals to people in need. We offered to buy everybody a pint when this was all over, so we've got 170,000 people waiting to come and get their pint of Punk IPA.
That's quite some round.
Yeah, it's going to be an expensive one. It's not going on my company credit card.
Yeah.
And then we also did a Kickstart Collective, which was a way of supporting 500 independent bottle shops and bars. So we've got them some free stock for opening, which we're arranging now. We did a big webinar that 400 people were on, which was just some industry experts and some people from BrewDog, just giving advice around how to reopen, all the legislation, etc., which was really good. And we've opened up beer trading courses to them as well, ongoing. So they're a really important part of our on-trade plan now. And as again, it just shows, you know, supporting independent pubs as much as possible. And then we did loads of other fun stuff. So beer recipes went online for people home brewing, colouring in books. James made his book available for free to download, and loads of stuff. And then the online pub was pretty good. So the Open Arms welcomed tens of thousands of people for, I think there was pub quizzes, there was master classes for cooking, beer tastings. So, you know, keeping really busy, but, you know, trying to just use business as a force for good and doing as much as we could.
Wow. And then alongside all of that, and obviously a lot of that was really well publicized, and I saw a lot of it. And I think there's some kudos to be given to BrewDog here, because a lot of those things, okay, you know, there's always the argument it's great for PR and, you know, it's great to keep you front of mind with people, but a lot of those things were very altruistic offers and incentives for people. So you know, is that a BrewDog thing? Is that just sort of the ethos of the company, or is that something that has developed more in lockdown?
I think it's been easier to showcase it more, but it's been something that's been there long before I joined. So it's, I guess, the things that were more publicised were the team member stuff. So, you know, the Unicorn Fund that's been around for a number of years, where 20% of profits going to a unicorn fund, 10% go to local charities, and those charities are decided by the team members. So there's a quarterly Zoom call, or well, a Zoom call in today's world, a meeting up at Aberdeen Ellen HQ in pre-COVID, and then 10% go to staff, so team members. So there's always been this mantra of, you know, we want to do as much as possible for our team and for the local communities.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then so alongside all of this altruistic work, whether that's to do with teams, whether it's to do with communities, you still managed to find time to get some MPD out there. One particular that raised a few eyebrows.
Yeah, so essentially we had to fast track our MPD line. So essentially doing 12 months of MPD in just a number of weeks. But the one that you're referring to would be I can't even say it. It's such a tongue twister. Bad Castle eye test,
That's the one.
which I think James was on Twitter a week ago or LinkedIn, and he said we'd sold over 650,000 cans. So it crashed the website for 6 hours. It's the demand we've ever seen for a one-off beer. And Keir Starmer was even in BrewDog Tower Hill last week having a can himself, which I'm sure he loved as a photo opportunity.
I saw that. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And so, with regards to MPD as well, you've also got a line of hard seltzers coming out.
Yeah. So again, fast tracking what we were working on and bringing it as close to today as possible. We launched Clean and Press hard seltzer, so that comes from the BrewDog Distilling Company. We use our own Rogue Wave vodka, and there's 3 flavors coming to market pretty soon in terms of the off trade. So cactus and lime, crushed black cherry, white peach and mango. So 3 in total. And this is just the massive trend in the US that I'm sure people have seen.
Yeah, well, see, I mean, since I went to stay with a friend in New Jersey a year and a half ago, I've been banging the drum for hard seltzer and saying it's coming, and we need to work out how it fits into the category mix in, you know, on trade and off trade, and what the occasions might be. So I'm really I mean, hopefully now that BrewDog are doing it, people will finally start listening to me and realise that possibly it is going to be a bit of a trend. So, okay, let's look to the future and specifically your bars and the on trade. How have you been reopening those? What plans have you put in place? You know, what does I nearly said new normal again. What does the next stage look like?
Well, I think James Brown, the retail director, and David and the team at the retail side, they were working on this for months. So as soon as the lockdown came, it was like, we need to start planning for the reopening. So the 10-point plan got announced kind of weeks before the official opening date. So that's just all around sanitizer stations everywhere, contactless ordering, masks and gloves available for all the team members, loads of signage everywhere telling you how to social distance, taking out bits of furniture, but not to the point where you've not got anyone in there. Cashless, throwing menus away, so single use, same with condiments, plastic table screens on request as well. And then I think the retail guys were doing numerous Zoom calls with the team, trying to instill that confidence for them to come back, taking any questions, and then just really plan for that first day.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunately called Super Saturday, but Safe Saturday was a much better phrase.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what else have you been working on with regards to the future, looking at the future? What is it, are BrewDog going to continue along that line of being that company that everybody looks to for something new and exciting and interesting? What else is on the boil?
Well, we're opening a bar in India in Mumbai, so that's in construction now. So that's typically BrewDog going into places where craft beer is probably yet to arrive properly. So that's exciting, and I'm sure there's plans for more than just one over that part of the world. We announced last week the drive-throughs. I don't know if you saw that. So BrewDog drive-throughs in the UK, Brisbane, Ohio, and Germany, essentially where we've got the breweries, electric charging hubs for zero waste packaging, and collecting fresh sustainable beer, just as you drive past, basically.
Fantastic.
But yeah, and the big thing, I guess, is, and this James has been really vocal on this, and this is a real passion for everyone at BrewDog right now, is BrewDog tomorrow. So we really want to be the world's most sustainable drinks company in the future. So some of the things, I mean, they look really cool if you've seen the photo on Twitter, but replacing our delivery trucks with the electric fleet. So working on a project there to do that in the next couple of years. 100% of our malted barley is now turned into renewable energy, so we use that also for fuel and for organic fertilizer. All our UK electricity now comes from wind power, and the plan is to next stage that is to do that globally. And then the reason for having those breweries all over the world is that you can reduce the distance the beer has to travel, which is not only better for the environment, but it's better for the person drinking it as well, which is great. And then the big mission that James has shared some sketches of and some plans is the 24-0 plan to make Ellen, the brewery up in Scotland, carbon neutral in 24 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's loads of other fun stuff as well going on at the same time. So building a hop farm in Columbus, so we can use our own hops, which some other breweries around the world do, but obviously in the UK you're going to struggle a little bit to find the space and get the weather. But yeah, so that's exciting. But BrewDog tomorrow is massive for us, and we've had Zoom calls, webinars, just talking about making sure we've got this planet to brew beer on in the future, and everyone's really excited about doing as much as we can every time we launch a new activation or campaign to bring that tomorrow charter into what we do.
Fantastic. And then one other thing I want to speak to you about before you go is AF. So obviously, you know, back in January, KAM ran a low and no research report and sort of said, you know, AF is here to stay. It's not a fad. It is a trend and it's increasing. You guys have been seminal in that area and not just bringing the product to market, but also helping to educate people as to what AF is and what the positives of it are. Where do we stand right now? Where has AF got to in lockdown? Has it increased, decreased?
So I think it was pretty stable, pretty flat when lockdown first came in. People started reaching for the beer, for the spirits, for the top shelf, you know. And then as we got more familiarised with lockdown, we probably realised we couldn't keep up those drinking habits. So, you know, for example, total beer in the off trade MAT, so last 12 months is +7 and craft is +21. But last 4 weeks, total beer is +51 and craft is +58. So it just shows you how that's accelerated. But within that, AF was pretty flat or growing at the same rate of growth it had before. June, according to Kantar's latest data, triple-digit growth for AF in June. So it's almost like people have got back to a little bit of normal, realised.
I think people are sort of going back to work and realising they can't drink as much now. They've got to get up and maybe go out and just, yeah, just that's where lifestyles are just changing a little bit, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah, and also, you know, that initial shock of everyone having to stay home and what lockdown meant and not knowing what was around the corner, probably meant that you replaced four AF cans with 4 full alcohol cans or a bottle of gin or some extra wine or whatever it might be.
I hope that wasn't a dig.
No. But yeah, no, really positive for us, and we've just launched Lost AF as well, our alcohol-free lager. So we've now got our full range for the rest of the year. So we're really excited about getting that into places. We've just launched in Papa John's, 450 stores. So Punk AF cans, Lost AF cans. Looking to get into that space more. The popularity of the brand of our brands within AF is just phenomenal. I mean, Punk AF alone is the fastest growing NPD in craft beer, regardless of alcohol. And I mean, if it's not there already, I can't remember off the top of my head. If it's not there already, it'll be where the value of it will be over 3 million soon. From a start of 0, just over 12 months ago.
Yeah. So not a fad then is the answer.
No, not a fad. No.
Excellent. Good. Well, listen, Ben, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me for this session of Hospitality.
Anytime.
Absolutely delightful to see you, and you know, I wish yourself and BrewDog the best of luck with the sustainability challenges and just, you know, all the really cool stuff you're doing, but also, you know, all of the good deeds that you're doing and the altruistic acts and the sanitizer and the unicorn, you know, all of that stuff. It's really exciting to watch, and it's lovely to see the brand grow.
No, it's always a pleasure to talk about it. So
lovely. Thanks, Ben.